Myself, Dr. Hanuman Prasad. I am working as an assistant professor in the Department of Chemistry at Institute of Aeronautical Engineering IARE, located at Dundigal. Today I am going to discuss a topic from the module Gender and Labor. And the name of the topic is Gender Segregation. And the contents that I am going to discuss in today's session as a part of the topic Gender Segregation are: Introduction to Gender Segregation, next Categorization of Gender Segregation, next Internal Gender Segregation, next Horizontal Gender Segregation, next Vertical Gender Segregation, next Quotations on Gender Segregation, and finally references. Let's look at all these contents in detail. The first content is Introduction to Gender Segregation. So first of all, one must know what is gender segregation. So gender segregation is the process by which women and men end up in different types of occupation, so that two different types of labor markets may be said to exist. One for women with better job opportunities and limited opportunities, and the other for men with better job opportunities. So means women have limited opportunities whereas men have better opportunities. So that is what is the separation in the gender. Hence this process is known as gender segregation. Okay. So gender segregation is the process by which women and men end up in different types of occupation, so that two different types of labor markets may be said to exist. One for women with limited opportunities of growth, and the other for men with better job prospects. Okay, so that is what is the process of gender segregation, and that is what we are discussing about in this session. Okay. And this segregation has evolved from the concept of gender marking. From where gender segregation has been evolved? It is evolved from the concept of gender marking. Now, what is gender marking? Gender marking takes place by a process in which the qualifications and characteristics of an occupation become associated with gender. Okay? They become associated with gender. So from where gender segregation has been evolved? From gender marking. What is gender marking? The process in which the qualifications and characteristics of an occupation become associated with gender. Okay. So this is about the introduction to gender segregation, where women and men end up in different types of occupation. Women with limited job opportunities and men with better job opportunities. Okay, and this has been evolved from gender marking, which is a process in which the qualifications and characteristics of an occupation become associated with gender. Okay, I hope you understood about gender segregation. Let's look at the next content. Categorization of gender segregation means classification of gender segregation. So gender segregation is categorized on the basis of work functions of the gender. On the basis of work functions of the gender. So if the work functions of the gender are different, such as primary or secondary level, in the same occupation is same, but the work functions of the gender are different, such as primary or secondary in the same occupation. And then it is categorized as internal gender segregation. Okay, in that case, it is categorized as internal gender segregation. Next, if the work functions of the gender are in different occupations, means so the work functions of the gender are in different occupations. The occupations are different. Then it is categorized as horizontal gender segregation. Then in that case, the gender segregation is categorized as horizontal gender segregation. And next, if the work functions of the gender are either high or low in the same occupation, then it is categorized as vertical gender segregation. Okay, work functions of the gender are either high or low in the same occupation, then it is categorized as vertical gender segregation. So, gender segregation has been classified or categorized on the basis of work functions of the gender. The work functions of the gender are different, such as primary and secondary level, in the same occupation, then it is internal gender segregation. If the work functions of the gender are in different occupations, then it is horizontal gender segregation. If the work functions of the gender are either high position or low position within the same occupation, then it is vertical gender segregation. Let's look at these categories in detail. The first one is internal gender segregation as a next content. Okay. So internal gender segregation occurs when women and men are employed in the same occupation. But carry out different level of work functions. Just now I discussed in the categorization. So women and men are employed in the same occupation, but they carry out different level of work functions. Let's consider school teaching as an example for internal gender segregation. Okay, so you can understand school teaching as an example for internal gender segregation. In school teaching, primary classes, means from first standard to fifth standard, are preferred to taught by female teachers. So that we are seeing. Okay, whereas in secondary classes, 9th standard to 12th standard are preferred to taught by male teachers. Means the perception of the society is first to fifth standards are not involving much subject, so they can be easily dealt with by female teachers because it doesn't require more skill. Whereas for higher standards like 9th to 12th classes, so they require more subject skill and subject depth and all. So that is why these are dealt by male teachers. That is the perception of society. In general, we can say that, but that is not really true. So nowadays, both female teachers and male teachers are equally teaching in higher standards as well as in lower standards as well. Okay, so male teachers are going for low standards as well as high standards. In the same way, female teachers are also teaching high standards as well as low standards. But the general perception of the society is female teachers prefer to teach primary classes such as first to fifth standards, whereas male teachers prefer to teach higher standards like secondary classes like 9th to 12th standards. Okay, so that is why we have taken school teaching as an example of internal gender segregation, where women and men are employed in the same occupation but carry out different level of work functions. Okay, so the next content is horizontal gender segregation. So horizontal gender segregation arises when women and men are employed in different occupations based on strength. Okay, when women and men are employed in different occupations based on the strength. Okay, in general, women are employed in low strength related jobs, whereas men are employed in high strength related occupations. Okay, because our society has a perception that women are weak, so they are employed in low strength related occupations, whereas men are strong, so they are employed in high strength related occupations. That is the perception of the society. So let's consider an example of gender segregation with different occupations of women and men, such as a large number of women work in service sectors like homemaids, daycare centers, ITES, etc. Okay, so women are generally employed in service sectors like homemaids, daycare centers, information technology, and information technology enabled services. Okay, and men are usually employed in industrial sector like heavy machine industries. Okay, men are usually employed in industrial sectors like heavy machine industries. Okay, so which are involving carrying of heavy weights. Okay, so but nowadays again gender sensitization has been achieved in this respect, because both men and women are equally employed in both the sectors. Men are also in service sectors, women are also in industrial sectors. Okay, but according to society in general, as per the survey, women are generally in low strength related service sectors, and men are generally in high strength related industrial sectors. Okay, so this kind of gender segregation is said to be horizontal gender segregation, when women and men are in different occupations based on their strength. Okay, so let's look at the next classification and next content, which is vertical gender segregation. Okay, in general, within the same occupation, men tend to occupy higher positions and women comparatively in lower positions. Okay, within the same occupation, men tend to occupy higher positions, whereas women comparatively lower positions. Okay, so this hierarchical division or division, hierarchical division means men try to occupy higher positions, women try to occupy lower positions. Okay, so this kind of hierarchical division is considered to be vertical gender segregation. Okay, so hierarchical division of the gender. Okay, so women in low positions and men in high positions. Hence, this is called hierarchical division, which is called vertical gender segregation. So, even where an occupation is to some extent mixed, mixed means it is neither low position nor high position, it is in between. Then also, women are usually in the less responsible, less secure, as well as less well paid jobs. Okay, so even where an occupation is to some extent mixed, mixed means neither low position nor high position. In that case, also, women are usually in less responsible, less secure, and less well paid jobs. Okay, less well paid means not paying high salaries. Okay, so that is the strategy within the same occupation for higher positions and lower positions. Men occupy higher positions, women occupy lower positions. On the other hand, even in occupation numerically dominated by women, let's say an occupation has more number of women, then also men are still often found in the management positions. Okay, in such scenario also men are in higher positions such as manager positions. So the best example is manager of primary school. So generally most of the employers in the primary school are women, because female teachers are mostly prefer to teach primary standards such as first to fifth standards. Okay, so in those colleges or those schools, men are the managers. Okay, so that means it is clearly seen, it is clearly viewed that men occupy higher positions and women occupy lower positions. That is the perception of the society in general. But nowadays, both men and women are in higher positions, as well as both men and women are in lower positions as well. Okay, so the scenario is same for women as well as for men. Okay, so but in general, men are in higher positions, women are in lower positions within the same occupation. The best example is manager of a primary school. So teachers are in low positions, which are female teachers or women, and the manager is higher position job, which is occupied by men. Okay, so that is what we have discussed in vertical gender segregation. Within the same occupation, men occupy in higher positions, whereas women occupy lower positions in comparison. Okay, so let's look at the next content. Some best quotations on gender segregation. Let's listen to these quotations very carefully because they will motivate, they will inculcate the gender sensitization among all of us. Okay, so gender equality is the goal that will help abolish poverty, that will create more equal economies, fairer societies, happier men, women, and children. Okay, gender equality is the goal that will help abolish poverty, that will create more equal economies, fairer societies, and happier men, happier women, and happier children. Okay, and the next quotation is: it is time that men and boys recognize the part they must play in gender equality and join with the voices and actions of the women and girls who are trying to reshape society in the interests of all of us. Okay, so it is time to support women. That is what this quotation means. So men and boys should recognize the part they must play in gender equality by joining with the voices and actions of the women and girls who are trying to reshape the society in the interests of all of us. What we want, what society we want. So, in that, women are raising the voices and they are doing some actions. So, all the men should support and all the men should recognize those attempts. Okay, so then only this gender segregation can be removed. Okay, and gender sensitization can be achieved. Incomplete. Okay, so let's look at some more quotations on gender segregation. When girls are valued less than boys, women less than men, they face multiple risks throughout their lives, at home, at work, at school, from their families, and from strangers. Gender based violence is a major consequence of gender inequality. It is a worldwide phenomenon. Okay, let's see carefully. When girls and uh, women, okay, when girls are valued less than boys and women less than men, means girls are valued less than boys, women are valued less than men. Okay, then they face multiple risks throughout their lives, at home, at work, at school, from their families, and from strangers. Okay, everywhere they face multiple risks throughout the life. Okay, when there is a gender inequality, means girls are valued less than boys and women are valued less than men, then they have to face multiple risks throughout the life. Okay, like at home, at work, at school, from the families, from the strangers. Okay, so that is why gender based violence arises. Okay, so here we said that gender based violence is a major consequence of gender inequality, which is a worldwide phenomenon. Okay, so girls and boys should be equally valued. Similarly, women and men should be equally valued. Then only gender equality will be achieved. Then we can avoid gender based violence. Okay, then we can achieve gender sensitization to 100%. Okay, And the next quotation is, we need the talent and insights of girls today to lead our business tomorrow. That is why expanding educational opportunities for girls is not charity. It's a smart investment in a stronger global economy in our future. Okay? So we need talent and insights of girls today to lead our business tomorrow. Okay? So means we have to educate girls in equal priority with boys to lead our business tomorrow. Okay? So that is why expanding educational opportunities for girls is not at all charity. It is a smart investment in a stronger global economy in our future. Okay, one must realize this and one must follow this to avoid gender inequality and to avoid gender based violence and to have a better future. Okay, so and to achieve gender sensitization to 100%. I hope all of you have understood the concept of gender segregation, and the references I have followed in this session are Gender Studies by Kadambari. Second one is Gender Sensitization by Rajalakshmi Kalyani. Third one is one website, plancanada.ca. There were 6 courses from where the gender segregation related courses were taken. Okay, so thank you very much for all of your kind attention. All the best.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.